Yeah, hi all, good morning. Yeah, video 3. So I'm now working on this C5, which is cool. So just thought I'd do a few bits and bobs, a few of the easier bits and pieces, which is disc brake kit. So you see what my technique is to clamp this on here to get the bracket in the spot on place. Then I can put the screws in nicely, crank them down a little bit, adjust the bracket, make sure it's nice and level. Calipers on in place, obviously. So that's looking really good. Wasn't able to complete this because, well, the old inner tube's got a hole in it, so I've got a new inner tube, a new offset one, so that's fine. And Jays tyre, which this one here has got a hole in it as well, plus also, which isn't so bad, but the hole's kind of like grinded up some of the rubber around the area, so although I rubbed it down, it's not very smooth, so I feel it's prone to get another puncture in that precise place. Plus also the wire is very, very exposed on about a third of the inside of this tyre here, so it's just not worth putting in a brand new inner tube when you can buy the replacement tyres cheap, 5, 6, 8 quid, whatever they are these days, to get one of those. So for me, that one there is just a trash tyre. Did look at this one here for Zyke, but it's a 12.5, and that's a 12, so won't bother with that. There's a disc there, looking absolutely lovely. So I'm going to put it in place, just sort of line it all up kind of thing, and then wait for the new tyres to come in the post. And I'm going to work on the rear disc brake whilst I'm on it as well, and double check those tyres in case I need to order tyres or whatever for the back as well. Cool, but yeah, look at the C5, absolutely lush. And I'm pretty sure Jay said this is one of the C5s I restored for him a long time ago, and it looks absolutely, the chassis is like mint. It's mint still, so he's obviously stored it incredibly well. So yeah, lovely jubbly. Cool. Actually, yeah, just a point to note, yes, if when you do the front disc brake kit, you will need a longer front brake cable, basically, because the old one comes up about here somewhere, and you need to kind of reroute it slightly and go a little bit further. So you kind of need an extra sort of, probably an extra, say, 5 inches of cable. So yeah, here's a brand new one. And so I've got some brand new sort of sheaths down there as well. So yep, I'll install that on the C5. And yes, that makes that job mostly done apart from the tyre. Right, and yeah, some progress made on this one. So as you can clearly see, disc brakes on. Okay, it's not set up yet or anything. So it's definitely, obviously it's rubbing more than I want, but obviously I haven't adjusted anything at all, put the hubcap on, whatever. But yeah, it's on, top notch. Love it. Put it on the back there. I'm just gonna put a little tag on the end of that just to keep that nice. Otherwise, I'm really pleased with that. That's great. Can't remember if I showed you or not, but the front disc is on. But with also the problem with the tyre. Boom. So need to order a new tyre for that. And so I'm gonna finish this off now. Get this one here set up. Put the hubcap back on. And then this afternoon, I'm gonna work on that. So you'll see a little bit of that in a minute. Cool. Right, yes, hi all. So yeah, as you can see, it's all apart. Just have a look at it, going to rebuild it, etc. The brushes were stuck, basically. So you've got brown one, these brown fingers here, versus the white fingers here. So what you find is the brown fingers, this plastic here, Sinclair obviously realised this early on, is that it's so tight. When you pull it up enough to be able to get the official tool on, or literally a matchstick underneath there, literally those things there just break. So I'm pushing it up quite hard, my fingernail, and that's pretty much as far as I can push it, like literally that. And anything further, I feel that it's just going to snap off, which is what they always do. Whereas these ones here, the material's different. Whoops. So these ones here, as you can see here, it moves much easier, and literally for me, these have never ever snapped. So that's the reason they upgraded from this really quickly to this plastic. Like I mentioned, one of those was seized. It's free now, but obviously I'll put some anti-seize in there, clean it up. I'll take the rotor out in a second, clean up this, but the bearings feel really good on there. Bearings feel really good. I mean, I'd imagine this hasn't done hardly any use because of, based on the condition of this, I'd imagine it's not done much use. This is tight in here, so that's definitely not smooth. So 100% that absolutely needs rebuilding. So I'd imagine, honestly, this probably just has not been rebuilt. Obviously, you could spray grease, spray oil in there if you wanted to, and reuse it for a bit. Cable tie around there might be all right, but ideally, people want that one. So yeah, let me and I mean, to be fair, actually, this does look like it's probably done, hardly any miles at all. It looks like pristine. It's just it's just that is very tight. So it's definitely worth rebuilding the whole lot. Cool, let me go for it. A quick look at the motor then. So yes, taken it all apart, cleaned it all up down there, oiled the bearings slightly. They're absolutely spin beautiful. Packed the 2 bearings here with grease. So that's all great. Sort out the brushes, a little bit of anti-seize on both brushes. This was absolutely, had not been serviced before. Like I mentioned, it's clearly original. So there's like basically virtually no grease left in it at all, and the bearing was really tight as well. So that's a great job. We've taken it all apart, serviced that. Obviously put a fresh smear of grease in there. As expected, literally these just broke off. All of them, although those are still physically attached there, they're literally hanging on by a fraction of a millimetre, as you can see down on each one, just as expected, you know. So that's yeah, that's parts for the bin. That part I'm going to transfer in a second. Shame this hasn't got the output gear on there, because effectively that's like parts basically. The rest of that is. It's just a shame that it's not got anything on there, but never mind. So yeah, looking good. So I'm going to reassemble that now with this, put it back in, add the little tab onto there, I just remembered, and then have a look at the electronics. Cool. Right then, yes, the motor's back together. It's honestly, this gearbox is pristine. Like it's never been used, or it's just been used, you know, around a block once or something. It's absolutely perfect. So yeah, I'll pull out the tools in a second just to release the brushes, install that, put that back in again with that. That should be absolutely fine for that. That's the remains there of the motor. It's got a good end piece on there. It's obviously missing the key components here, and this looks pretty manky, so that's a bit crap, but that's good. But this, absolutely lovely, that motor. It's totally sweet. So yeah, let's get it in and add that tab and get on with electronics. Right, yes, Jays C5s, so they're virtually done. So this one here, we're waiting for the new high-vis mask from Graham, which arrived this week. I only ordered them, like, you know, on Friday, I think, or Saturday, so they're en route for that. Jay knows about the stickers for this. Basically, they're just old, and they were just badly stored, because they're literally just, the stickers, sounds really weird, they were just warped and sort of stretched and stuff. They just won't go flat, and when there's not enough stick on them, and I have cleaned it, etc., they're just no good, basically. So that, but they can be peeled off easily in 2 seconds, and new ones on. So that, other than that, is all sorted. I'm going to do a little test drive now and fine tune the brakes. This one I've just fixed the electronics at the back of the pod, which are faulty. Both bulbs work. Motor's been fully rebuilt with the new white finger gearbox cradle, spot on. Disc brakes all sorted. Again, just needed some fine tuning adjustment. Tyres are good on there, and I've ordered a new front tyre for that, so I can't test run that, unfortunately. So I don't have any tyres in stock, so yeah, I need to put a new tyre on there and then run that, adjust it. Happy days. Cool. Thanks all. Let me take out this one here for a little test drive now, and then at least one of them's then virtually done apart from those. Cool. Yep, well, so the first one's done. Obviously just literally pending these, of course, but otherwise I've just done a test drive. It runs absolutely lovely. So that's the C5 there. John Webster's mud flaps, rear disc kit, front disc kit. Running it with no cowl. Just give a quick minor adjustment to the brakes. Obviously they'll bed in over time and be even better, but honestly it brakes lovely even at this stage. But I say Jay, obviously, you know, once he starts using it and running it in, then obviously you can give a fine little fettle on the old brakes to make it even better once they bedded. But there's growing superb. So obviously I've got the boot for it. So I shall put the boot on and then just wait these parts here, then this C5 is good to go. Quick look on there. And there we go, here's the second one. So that's all done as well. So that's the indicator C5 we're calling it. Again, we've got John's mud flaps, rear kit and front kit. Looking great. Normal, like, full service. Electronics worked on this one. The new high-vis mast tops on there. And just also the chain tensioner was seized. The jockey wheel was actually completely seized as well. So just something to be aware of, that's all. But yeah, that's now sorted and cleaned and a re-cable tied on. So yeah, good stuff. Nice one. And so Jay obviously likes his handlebars up at this angle. Cool. Nice one.